Our SABC News reporter Khayelihle Khumalo caught up with some of the evacuees who were elated to be back into the country.
Well, absolutely, quite a very important day as the South African nationals who have been evacuated from Sudan are finally home, and obviously there is a sigh of relief here at the OR Tambo International Airport, and really just hearing from the South African authorities as well, detailing and accounting about what they went through in terms of interacting with their counterparts, countries like Egypt and many other neighboring countries as well. So let's really just get a word or two from one of the evacuees. So thank you so much, ma'am, and welcome to SABC News. First and foremost, take us through to the journey that you had to face.
It was a very terrible nightmare. It was very terrible. Bodies laying around, jets flying all over, bombs, shootings every day. Our journey to Egypt was a very, very hard journey. People were staying behind at the border while we went on our way over the border, so it was very difficult, but at the end we all made it, and I am very relieved that we're all back on South African soil. I'm just happy.
Lovely. And how was that experience to know that, there's a conflict, and here you are, you're a South African, you're stuck in this northeast part of Africa? Where at some point, were you optimistic? Like, what was going through your mind?
I was hopeful. At first I was very scared. I thought this I won't get out of this hole because we are caught in between it. We are stuck in between it. But I was hopeful that our government will come through for us, and there will be some help from South Africa's side to come and help the South Africans out of Sudan.
And you're finally home. What's the first thing you're going to do? I see your sister is here. You guys are standing shoulder to shoulder. It must be quite a very overwhelming moment for you to be finally here.
It was very overwhelming, sad. It's traumatizing in some way also what I've experienced, but now I am very happy. I'm going to work through it with my kids by my side and my sister. So yeah, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sleep. I haven't had any sleep.
You've been deprived of sleeping.
Yes. Yes.
Will you ever go back to Sudan as soon as everything settles?
No, never again.
All right. Never. At this particular point in time, I want to bring one of the evacuees who was in Sudan. So, sir, thank you so much indeed.
Thank you.
And welcome to SABC News.
Thank you so much.
Take us through to those moments when you were in Sudan, obviously a country facing a political standoff. How were those moments as you were there?
Look, it was coming. There was a lot of protesting going on in the last few weeks. I got there 5 weeks ago, and to see protests, we never expected a full-blown war. What had happened was on the Saturday morning, it was a normal Saturday morning, and we just get panicked. I mean, everybody says, get out, get out, get out. And we have to take cover, and we get to the apartment, and it's just a full-blown war that happens. And we had to make some plans to get out of there. I must say it was horrendous. Trying to get to the border post, the last couple of days was really, really difficult. Just lack of communication from the embassy, lack of communication from government. We didn't know what was happening with where. There were a couple of options that we had to make ourselves. We had to take a stand as citizens to try and get out of there. And eventually it all came together where the gift of the giver stepped in. Dr. Suleiman and his team have been phenomenal. I was in constant contact with them, with the guys from South Africa and the embassy. And we pulled it off. And I must say it was treacherous, it was disappointing, and sometimes at some stage we thought that we're not going to make it. And to get to the border post was horrendous. To have a minister or an ambassador, a South African ambassador, doesn't have tour in the country is very difficult. The ambassador's job is to be tour of the president. You got to know the country, you have to make allies with the different departments, you have to understand the language. In our case, our ambassador didn't have the language. People don't respect a female ambassador, and doors were closed in our faces. And with that, I'm saying, going forward, we have to have a plan. We have to have some kind of action in place when disaster happens. You can't go into a war and 8 days later you're trying to find out where your people are. That's not on. You got to know exactly where your people are. They're registered with the embassy. You got to know exactly where to find them. And when things like that happen, we have to have action in place from day 1, day 2, day 3. And surely they would have known, you're seeing tanks coming to town, you're seeing heavy artillery coming, you're seeing big armory coming. You should be asking the questions, what is going on? And there's a war happening. Get your people out. We don't wait 8 days into it and then start finding out where everybody is and what's happening. So
and you're finally home. I would imagine that there's a sigh of relief.
It is absolutely sigh of relief. I just want to spend time with my family, take a hot shower, and just relax.
All right.